Did you know you can use the Zoom H4n, H4n Pro and the standard Zoom H5 to record with 4 XLR microphones, each one into its own separate recording track? Hi and welcome. Today I'll show you how to do something that most people think is only possible with the Zoom H6, H8 and the Zoom H5 with the optional XLR combo capsule. You'll need to do two things. First, change the recording mode of your handy recorder from stereo to 4-channel, and second, you'll need an adapter with 2 XLR inputs that can separately go to the right and left channels of a stereo 3.5mm TRS jack. Getting back to the Zoom recorder, go into the recorder's menu by pressing the menu button and scroll down and select Mode. On the Mode Select screen, choose 4CH, which is 4-channel mode. Then exit the menu. On the recording display, you'll now notice that there are 2 pairs of audio meters. The bottom 2 are for the XLR jack combo inputs 1 and 2, and the top 2 meters are for the built-in XY mic capsules. You'll also notice on the H4n and H4n Pro that in 4-channel mode, all the input buttons will glow red, showing that all the inputs are active and ready. Normally, you can't put 2 separate inputs into that 3.5mm mic socket by using a standard Y-splitter cable, because it normally takes one signal and splits it into 2 identical signals. That's not what we want here. We want a Y-splitter that'll take 2 inputs and keep them separate on the left and right channels. To do that, we need a dual XLR to 3.5mm jack Y-splitter breakout cable, like the one I've got on the screen. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get the same one as me. Although in this video I'm showing how to connect 2 XLR mics to the 3.5mm mic input, the mic source could equally be a couple of lavalier mics, in which case you'll need a stereo breakout 3.5mm TRS to dual 3.5 TSF cable like this one. It's designed to split a stereo signal into left and right mono signals, but I'm using it in the opposite way. Again, the link's down in the description. So we've now got the Zoom Handy recorder in 4-channel mode, and we've also got the breakout cable. Plug the 3.5mm jack into the 3.5mm mic input on the back of the Zoom H4n recorder. You can now connect your 4 XLR mics. The 2 plugged into inputs 1 and 2 can be dynamic or condenser microphones, but the 2 plugged into the 3.5mm mic input with the adapter, they must be dynamic mics or condenser mics that have their own power, such as this Sennheiser ME66 that can use phantom power or an internal AA battery. To adjust the recording level, arm the level meters with one press of the record button. Now press the input button for the mic input you wish to adjust. For the mics plugged into inputs 1 and 2, press either buttons 1 or 2 and use the record level control on the side of the recorder to make your adjustment. The 2 XLR mics that are connected using the Y-splitter adapter are a little bit different. Press the mic input button and use the record level control again on the side, but notice that the 2 microphones, you can't adjust their levels independently, so whatever the sound source, they have to be similar. Now they don't have to be exactly the same loudness because the audio from each mic is recorded onto its own track, and you can match the levels later on in your editing software. Now to prove that this hack actually works, I've got 4 microphones set up here, all connected to my Zoom H4n. I will let you see the Zoom H4n. There it is. There's the Y-splitter cable going into the 3.5mm jack on the rear, and I've got the other mics connected to inputs 1 and 2, the XLR inputs on the base. We're obviously in 4-channel mode, and the 4 microphones I've got I've got a Sennheiser mic here. I've got a couple of Fi-Fine mics. This one here is the K688. I did a review of that not that long ago. Then I've got a Shure PGA48, and then another Fi-Fine mic. This is the K669D. Again, I've reviewed that not that long ago. I'm going to put headphones on so I can monitor this as well. So first up is the Sennheiser ME66 microphone. This is a shotgun mic, which normally you wouldn't use inside of a room. You'd use it outdoors, and I think it's a super cardioid microphone. I have actually used this to do some voiceover work with, but normally I would use this on a video shoot, and this is going into the XLR input 1, so the Sennheiser ME66 into XLR input 1. Right, moving on. Right, this is the Fi-Fine K688. It's a dynamic microphone, so this is going into XLR input 2, and this is the Fi-Fine K688. And now I've got the Shure PGA48. This is going into the left channel of the 3.5mm mic input using the Y splitter, and from my headphones this sounds not too bad. This is the Shure PGA48. And finally, this is the other Fi-Fine microphone, and this one is going into the right channel of the 3.5mm mic input on the Zoom H4 recorder. So that's the 4 microphones, all XLR microphones, but 2 plugged into the XLR sockets on the base of the recorder, and the other 2 plugged into the 3.5mm input on the back of the H4n recorder. Now, someone is bound to say, but you didn't test the same microphone on the XLR input and the 3.5mm jack input. So let's do that with one of these microphones, and I think I'll do it with the Shure PGA48. So let's put my headphones back on and let's remind ourselves. This is what the Shure PGA48 sounds like when I've got it plugged into the 3.5mm input on the rear of the H4n recorder. I've now got the Shure PGA48 plugged into input 2 on the base of the H4n recorder. Does it sound significantly different to when I had it plugged into the 3.5mm mic input on the back, or are they both roughly the same? Once you've completed your recording, you'll have 2 stereo files with the audio from each mic on a separate track. So that's ideal if you're recording a podcast with 4 people or perhaps 4 musical instruments. Now, obviously, this isn't perfect because the levels on 2 of those mics are linked, but the hack works in many cases where you need to record with 4 XLR mics onto a Zoom H4n recorder. To process the audio as individual tracks, you'll need to split the 2 stereo files into 4 mono tracks. I show how to do that in another video. If you want to view it, I'll put a link up in the corner. I've also got many other videos about the Zoom H4n and H4n Pro on this channel, and articles on DIYvideostudio.com, so do please take a look. Your support really does mean a great deal to me. It allows me to keep making more of these videos. So do please check out the links down in the description, and please like, share and subscribe. To make sure you don't miss any of my new videos, then hit that notification bell. All the best with your own content creation, and I hope to see you again on the next video.